Yeah, he's my hero. Dad's my hero. Only thing I've ever wanted in my life is to make him proud. You know, be someone that he says, hey, this is my boy. Yeah, I want to be like my dad.
And what has that desire pushed you to do?
Well, I was born in Clarksville, Tennessee. My dad's a Green Beret. He was in 5th Group, stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. We spent only about 3 years there, and kind of towards the end of my 3rd year of life, my mom started getting really sick, and she told my dad, hey, I can't do this anymore, taking care of the boys. So my dad was leaving the military. We packed the family up and we were moving back to Idaho, which is where they both met. And on our way back, we made it to Utah, and that's where my mom wound up passing away, and we buried her in Eagle, Idaho. I remember the funeral was pretty cold, and I remember someone putting a towel around me like a blanket. And then I remember one last time my dad trying to open the casket so we can see Mom one more time before we laid her in the ground, but they had already nailed it shut. We couldn't open it.
What was it like for your dad?
Man, I can't even imagine. My mom was my dad's high school sweetheart, I don't know. Struggled trying to understand my dad my whole life, and I still don't think I understand him very well. Right after that, 9/11 happened, and 5th Special Forces Group was the first team in, and they were the ones that got to respond to that attack and go and fight Al-Qaeda. I tried to follow in his footsteps. I remember I must have been 7 years old. I remember I'd put his beret on, and I'd salute myself in the mirror, and he wouldn't know. I'd take it, he had a shadow box, I'd take his green beret off of it, and I'd put it on, and I'd stand there with my chest puffed out, my shoulders pulled back, and I'd salute myself, or I just wanted to be cool, and I felt cool. I felt like a man when I put that on. I felt like my dad. Kids talk about walking in their dad's shoes. Like, I literally tried to wear my dad's shoes, like I wanted to be him. I wanted that uniform to fit. So, November 23rd of 2020, I enlisted in the United States Army with an 18 X-ray contract. When I found out I got the contract and I was accepted for it, I called my college the same day, and I dropped out and made plans to move back home and with my parents and prepare. And I prepared for the next, from November until April, I had 3 training sessions a day. I was running a sub 630 mile, sub 13 2 miles. I could max out every event in the PT test. And I just felt invincible. Like there was nothing that could stop me. That's the goal I have, that's what I want. And there's nothing's gonna get in the way of that. A couple weeks in, going through an obstacle course, fell off one, and I felt my knee pop, but I was okay. So I was running all day. We went back, we started doing marching. And when you're marching, facing movements, your feet are together, it's a lot of pivoting movements. And that's where I started feeling my kneecap go. I was sliding and sliding and sliding. And then that night, the day was over, we're in our barracks room, and I was standing there parade dress, and you're not supposed to move a parade dress, but I needed to pop my back. And that's all I did. I had my hands behind my back, parade dress, and I went to pop my back. And that hip rotation and everything, my kneecap just went all the way behind me. I fell. But I grabbed it and I put it back before anybody could really realize what was going on. And he yelled at us, said, you have 15 seconds to be downstairs in your assigned spots in the CTA. Go. So we go down, we don't meet the time hack. So they start making us do Y squats. And so I just dislocated my knee, and now I'm doing squats. And I'm doing all these Y squats, and I'm crying, and it hurts. So my kneecap was just free floating, doing whatever I wanted to do. So I went a whole nother day dislocating it in total 8 times in 2 days. So finally, they took me to the ER the next day after doing it again. And I had some x-rays done. X-rays showed the bones were fine, but we needed an MRI done. Signed the paperwork, did what I had to do, got the records over. Well, it did show that I was not qualified. So I got what's called an EPTS, existing prior to service. And that ultimately disqualified me and discharged me from the United States Army. It killed me, man. It broke me. So during the whole process and waiting for it all to get figured out, I had to sit there, and it was like every single day I was looking at 7-year-old me saluting himself in the mirror, just staring at him, staring at that dream, that desire, the goal that he had, and just watching it go away. I had to watch it and watch it and watch it. Couldn't do anything about it. But it killed me, man. That phone call to my dad telling him what happened is the hardest phone call I've ever made in my life. You know, I gave up everything because I wanted that more than I wanted anything. And I just told him that. He said, well, if that's the case, let's get you home. I don't want you having the surgery there. Get your surgery done by a civilian doctor. Get yourself taken care of. I tried to be normal. I came home, was excited to see the girl I was dating. She was there. She picked me up at the airport. She had a sign, you know, there for me. But everything wasn't okay. I put on this mask and I kind of covered everything up, but I just took a pretty catastrophic blow to my self-esteem. I had this identity, this person that I was, and then I just lost all of it. Everything that I was, this whole identity that I had for myself, I just lost it. A little bit after that, she gave the ring back. Wasn't ready for it. Probably not ready for who I was at the time either. And then right after that, a week later, one of my best friends died. And I was just done. I was done with life. I was done with. I hurt so bad because there's so many emotions. There's so many feelings that I was going through. I couldn't. I didn't really know how to explain all of that. I didn't know how to feel it all, you know? Like, you get all these things pepped up and you don't know how to feel them. And that's where I was, and I remember that night, I was just almost in disbelief, really numb, but like, just uncontrollably, just sobbing. And I just wanted it to stop. I just wanted all the pain to stop, and you know, I sat there, and I'm sure other people can relate to this that have been in the situation. You scroll through your phone, and you see all the names of people that you know care about you, and you know they do, but you don't think they do. So I saw everybody's names. I saw your name. I saw my parents who were just a couple rooms over, my brother, my other friend, friends that are in the military, other retired vets that did the thing that I was trying to do. I even thought about calling them, but I didn't. I didn't think anybody cared. And really the way out, I thought, was you know, the gun next to my bed. And I thank God I had this little girl with me, a little pup. She was licking my face, you know, and I was just holding her. She just sat there, and you know, obviously dogs don't talk, but man, I swear she was talking to me. She could just like listen, and I needed that right then. And a good friend of mine felt really inspired to call me, so she did, and it all just wound up working out. She wound up calling me, talking me off the ledge that I was on, and making me ultimately feel okay. And you know, I still struggle. It's not something that's like, okay, I had these hard times and now it's over. I struggle with depressive thoughts and feelings and suppressive feelings, for sure. It's really easy to feel insecure and to not try to go out of my way to do more because of that. And there are a lot of days that, you know, I'd just be cruising up, and then one day I'd just be down. And it'd take me a little bit to get out of the hole. But I didn't focus on the downs. I didn't focus on being in the hole. I knew that the hole was there the whole time. I'm just trying to climb out of it, and I'm just looking on the outside of the light, on the other side of the tunnel. And that makes the dark okay sometimes. So, yeah, it would have been really easy in that situation to say, like, well, it was me. And I think it would have been justified too. I think a lot of people would have understood. But I got really lucky with people in my life that just weren't going to take that answer. Like, yeah, that sucks. Quit being a child. Grow up. Like, bad things happen, and that's part of life. And it sucked to hear, and that even put me down pretty bad. But I knew I wanted to make something of myself. I wanted my life to matter. I wanted to, like, add value to the world and to my communities. And so, kind of on a whim, I just applied back to college and somehow got accepted. I don't know, I have a horrible GPA. I got out here and I got called by my now boss, and actually I got a text message that said, "Hey, I heard you're looking for employment. My place of work is hiring and we would love to have you." I'd worked with her before in another credit union. So I started like a week and a half later, and just found out today I got a promotion, so I'm going to be moving down to Boise and continuing on in my banking career, and I guess that's kind of where I see myself now, which is not the plan that I had for my life, but I'm incredibly happy. I'm feeling pretty successful. Classes are going fine, and I'm finally on a path that I can say, this is mine. I'm owning this. Like I said, it wasn't what I had, picked for myself, but it gets the job done. I got to come home at 5. Someday when I have kids, I don't have to miss their birthdays. I don't have to miss football games, wrestling matches, ballet dances, piano recitals. I don't have to miss those things. And those are the simple joys in life that I'm excited to experience. The sunrises and sunsets, the brisk mountain air in the fall, and just not another worry in the world. I believe, you take where you are and what you have and you make it better. And that's what I intend on doing for the rest of my life, taking everything that I have and trying to make it better, to put my touch on it. Yeah, you can't run from it. Everybody has their own challenges and trials, and I'm not unique in the fact that I've experienced struggle in my life. Everybody's been there. We all have our own specific challenges, whatever it may be. For people who do go through that, when, I mentioned that I thought the only way out was actually out of pain, and like I said, I scrolled through my phone and I saw all the names, and I didn't think anybody cared, but everybody did. I've shared it with a couple people, and they're like, "Why did you not call me? Like, I would have come and sat with you. Why didn't you call me?" And yeah, I didn't think they cared, but they did. And you might think when you're in that situation that nobody cares, but they do. Like, you matter. Your life matters, even if you think it's insignificant. You have an effect on this world, whatever it may be. So, pick up the phone, make the phone call. Call your friends that you think are the happy ones, that you think they're always okay, because they have a lot to hide sometimes. Call those friends and ask them genuinely how they're doing, and tell them to be honest with you. Maybe they'll tell you, I'm struggling. I just want someone to listen. He's proud of me. He's proud to call me his. I think he is. I feel he is. He calls me, just talk, and it's great. And I can sit down in a room with my dad and have normal conversations and laugh and joke and hug and cry, and it's great. I'm glad I get to be here around him.